I'd like to talk a little bit about the problems in our lives that um, we consume ourselves with. Um, the first point I'd like to make is recently uh, a group of us did a road cleanup project. We have a spot of highway that part of the Adopt a Highway program that we are obligated to clean up twice a year, the ditches and all that, the rubbish. And uh, I always take that opportunity to be further enlightened and to gain new perspectives of things. And one of those instances was uh, I cleared a path up the road. And then a partner and I, we turned around to go back and get our vehicles. And so we went back the same way that I had just come from. And it was actually kind of embarrassing because uh, at heart I am a thorough person. I like to be thorough. And so I try and make sure all my garbage is picked up. Well, that wasn't exactly so. Going back, it was very apparent that I had missed some very obvious spots. And it was interesting, and it got me thinking, um, because I am so thorough, why did I miss this can that's right here, or this bottle that's just 3 feet ahead of it? What did I miss? And from a mortal standpoint, the logical side, it could be, from the direction, I was headed, maybe I didn't quite see the sunshine beaming off the objects as I did coming the other way. Uh, Anything like that. Shadows. Maybe I didn't see a shadow like I did the other way. And all those are valid points, but it all comes back to perspective. It wasn't until I had a different perspective on the path I had just cleaned that then I found out that I had missed something. It's interesting how you go through life and you make a decision and you feel that you have made the best decision you could, and that you're on a good path, a productive path. But sometimes it ain't until you take a different perspective or an outside view looking in, or someone inquiring about a situation, about your decision, and they're looking in at a situation. Sometimes it's not until that point that you realize, that's a whole new picture I'm looking at now. That's not what I'm used to. This is good, because that is part of the divinely inspired institution of a council, is to gain perspectives. If you're part of a city government, part of that divinely inspired institution of a council is to receive input from not only your fellow councilmen, the mayor, your city administrators, attorneys, but also the citizens, the taxpayers. Those are very important perspectives. And what's important is that we don't continually build that wall of pride so that we don't see or don't want to see or refuse to see a different perspective. And that is so very important. And I'm very grateful for these road cleanup projects because they illuminate life in such a very plain and vivid way. I walked a path that I thought I had cleaned thoroughly because that's what I do. But it wasn't until I turned around and walked back along that same path and had a different perspective on my own work that I realized, maybe there's a better way of cleaning this up. You know, maybe it's best to go up one way and then turn around and go back. Maybe we can get a whole bunch more garbage that way. But it goes right back to that pride thing, that we have to break down the pride in order to solve our problems in this world. We have to be able to forget about ourselves, our own personal welfare, our own wants and needs, and think about our neighbor first. Okay? Gain a perspective from their point of view and not just yours. Very important. And I'd like to make one other quick point, and that is the need for us to be more concerned about our neighbor than ourselves, to be more concerned about their welfare than ourselves. I'm reminded of an instance when the Mormon pioneers were coming across the Midwest and going to Salt Lake. There was an instance of a handcart company, and the Martin and the Willie handcart companies. But there's an instance where they were in freezing deep peril. People were dying daily, and they were trying to reach the Salt Lake Valley. And when an authority of that faith in Salt Lake heard the news that they were in such peril, he dispatched many people to go and help them, give them aid, bring them home. And I recall an instance that they met at Sweetwater River, and it was freezing cold. Okay, there was big ice chunks going down the river, this and that. The handcart companies, they were dropping like flies. But when the rescue party came, they saw the peril that was taking place. And these people thought nothing of themselves, but of the welfare of the people that they hadn't even met. And they walked through that icy river, and they were carrying people over, bringing them across several times, walking back and forth through that river. And in closing, I just ask you, how petty does that make our own problems seem? How petty is it? How petty is it when we talk about certain things that are rising in price or anything compared to an actual fact of somebody saving another person that they don't even know, knowing that it's at the expense of their own life. That kind of rings a bell. Didn't Jesus Christ do that? Think about it. We are all supposed to be Christ-like. We're supposed to walk the walk, not just talk the talk. So, I guess the whole point of this is to just gain a whole new perspective of your own existence, of your own life. And as you do that, I challenge you to see other people for who they are. And who are they? These are potential people of divine power. that you may someday have the acquaintance of rubbing shoulders with and talking about this whole mortal experience with. And how would we be able to live with ourselves knowing that we treated our fellow neighbor the way we do now, knowing what kind of potential they had? That's my thoughts for the day.